it's critical that you can actually build up, to start off with, a massive warm water. This massive warm water, I thought in the UK was called a cylinder, but it turns out over in Germany it's called a thermal store. And the warm water is capable of heating both your hot water and also capable of heating the entire house. Next thing that the Germans suggested to me was we needed to convert the entire downstairs of this house, all 1,000+ foot of the downstairs, into being one big radiator. And this has then been achieved by using some of the best German suppliers that we could find, and say best because it's the most reliable supplier. And we actually chose a company who installed the underfloor heating system at Wembley Stadium. They came along and installed our underfloor heating and insulation system. They installed it, they designed it, and it works beautifully with the thermal store. When I was over in Germany, the Germans were very keen to be emphasising quality of life, and their whole requirement for quality of life was this. Number one, if you can have a heating system that makes your feet feel warm, or your ankles and feet feel warm, psychologically it says to your head, hey, I feel warm. And the real benefit of this is, when you actually sit down, underfloor heating system, which you just cannot see but you can feel, the underfloor heating system takes the entire 1,000 foot of ground floor slab and converts it into being one huge radiator. In addition to working with the underfloor heating system, the thermal store then goes up to the next level, and in the upstairs rooms, where the Germans said it's an awful lot warmer in the UK in the winter some of the time than it is in Germany, therefore we've got an instantaneous heating system in the upstairs, which is quite surprising, skirting board radiators. And the whole wonderfulness of the thermal store is we can be generating warmth for hot water, all for heating, with an extremely high 300% high efficiency, which, as you know, is at least 3 times better than a traditional, very modern, just serviced gas or oil boiler. Frequently asked questions, people saying to me, how on earth can you have a 300% efficient heating system when we thought 100% was everything? The reason why people can say heat pumps are now 300% efficient is very straightforward. The heat pump will extract some energy which is being heated from the sun outside, and it uses this extracted energy to work with the heat pump to increase its efficiency. So in simple terms, the heat pump which we have selected, which is one of the most technologically advanced in 2011, for every 1 kilowatt of electricity that you put into a heat pump, it will actually produce, with the setup that we have here, in excess of 3 kilowatts of heat. If we go back to a boiler, every 1 kilowatt of energy that you put into a boiler will produce less than 1 kilowatt of heat. In fact, it will probably only produce 95% of that 1 kilowatt when it's freshly serviced. And as the service interval declines or lengthens, the efficiency of that boiler declines. With a heat pump, ever so simply, a heat pump gains from the outside energy. And as we have proven in this last year, when it's at -19 degrees, it is still extracting a very small but a significant amount of energy, which massively lowers our heating bill. When heat increases in the summer, as it does, to a very high 10 to 15 or more degrees, then our efficiency increases even further. Last thought is, if we have a look on the walls here, we've actually got sensors. Those sensors then feed into the control box, and those sensors select the times of the day that you actually want additional or less warmth in many of the different zones. For argument's sake, you could have the living room zone heated up at one time and the hallway heated up for a lot longer time, and then the kitchen operating at slightly different times again. All of which, if you want the control, it is there. The thermal store has been designed, manufactured and installed so it's ready to attach solar panels to it. So if you want solar, this house is ready for solar panels, if you want it.